Cool. We just rant about Cody Ugly if you want.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
No,
So I'm here with Ray Borum. It's the first time we've actually been on a show together, which is kind of cool. Ray runs the Coyote Ugly in Liverpool, right? Coyote Ugly? Where you located in Liverpool?
Yeah, it's not a bad little city. It's very cultured. And I worked in a northern town before, which is called Scunthorpe. And it's the name says it all. It is scummy.
Oh, man. So if anybody is traveling to Liverpool at all, maybe they're going to see the West Ham match.
The Beatles.
Yeah, Beatles, man. If you're ever in Liverpool, where do they go? Where are you located in Liverpool?
So we're just up the road from Liverpool Central train station on Bowl Street, just halfway up the road. You'll clearly see us. And then you got the bomb at Church, which was bombed in the World War II, I believe it is. Just down the road from us. So not bad. Good location.
There you go. There's your plug.
There we go. Fly over Wally. Fly over Neil.
Oh, shit. I got to turn on the comments. Yeah. What's going on, dudes? I was so glad that Neil got his scarf, man. I was so worried. It was running on 2 weeks. I was getting really worried, but he got it. That's awesome. What's going on, Wally?
Just ready for the summer season.
If anybody wants to check out, it would help out American Hammers TV if you'd like at least take a look at our designs on American Hammers TV. It was ahtv.threadless.com. Anything you purchase from the store helps support the show, helps support the podcast, helps support our YouTube channel, etc. Because you don't realize it, but there's a lot of stuff that comes that we have to pay for. So anyway, looks like our guest of the evening, Andrew, is here. Looks like he's in the car. I hope you're not driving. Are you driving?
Yeah. I'm driving home. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So football's my favorite sport in the world, but when it comes to playing, like I'm better at volleyball. So I came coming home from some pickup volleyball, and last game lasted a bit long. So I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to do that to y'all.
Listen.
But, you boys doing all right tonight?
It's all good. You? Yeah.
Good. I'm making it. Finally, I'm very glad I can finally make it on to talk with you guys.
You're probably the. Oh man, I can't. I've tried to get you on so many times, and you can vouch for this, right? We've been going back and forth for how long now?
Probably since about July.
Yeah, dude. We finally got you on. So
I was working 12 hours a day, so
I know, man, and it was heavy season, man, when it comes down to politics. So
right.
It seems to be dying down a bit, unless you listen to NPR.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It was dreadful, man. You know what's happened? I turned on my car, and for whatever reason, my battery reset, and I turned on my car, and this first station that popped up was NPR today, and I guess they're doing the impeachment hearings. Oh, God almighty, if you want to listen to something that'll turn your stomach, man. It's so garbage. Anyway, no politics.
Yeah, please. I need
rule number one, American Hammers. But anyway, Andrew, it's a pleasure to meet you finally. My co-host tonight is Ray. Ray's from Liverpool. He's been on the show multiple times.
Absolutely.
And so, how'd you become a hammer, man?
Oh man, so I'm gonna pull into a parking spot, so I'm not being dumb here, trying to drive and talk to you guys at the same time. I'm not gonna do that and then get into a wreck for the whole world to see on YouTube. But how did I become a hammer? So I grew up in the New Orleans area, and I come from a family. One side of my family is from North Louisiana, the other one's from New Orleans, but is of Hispanic descent. So I was constantly following football or soccer. I don't know what the vernacular is on the show.
Neither.
Okay, cool. Well, I followed as a kid. I followed Olympia from Honduras was my first team. My first game ever was with them in Houston Byrne, way back in the day in New Orleans.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I ended up following Barcelona, but and AC Milan because got distant cousins out there too. But what got me into West Ham is that I had been following the Premier League since I was like in middle school, since I was like, 12, 13. It was coming on NBC every Saturday morning. I got nothing else to do. I don't want to watch cartoons anymore. So I flicked that on, and West Ham kind of always had like a soft spot in my heart. Like there was always like I kind of like followed like Man U like as the typical kid or whatever. But believe it or not, I can't remember which game it was, but the Andy Carroll bicycle kick, that was absolutely wild, incredible, and that was kind of where I really started like loosely following them, and then I eventually said like enough like spectating, enough being on the sidelines. Let's, I decided did a little bit of research on some teams. I felt like East London is where I want to go.
Yeah, man. It's so funny because the gentleman that I had on Sunday from Germany, he started following the team in the 2015-16 season, and he was saying that he started following because of the match against Man United, where I guess I can't remember what the name of the player was, but he was down injured or faking an injury on the ground, and Mark Noble went and picked him up and just pulled him off the sideline. But my point is, I love hearing these stories. It's always different. It's never usually the same. We've interviewed well over 100 people now, and it's really cool to hear everyone's different take. So that's cool. Yeah, I think it was Crystal Palace, the bicycle kick, right, Ray?
Right. Yeah, definitely Crystal Palace, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a superb goal. And I like to watch some of the Twitter ones afterwards where they actually changed the ball into like a fire.
Yeah.
Which was sick.
Fireball. Oh, yeah.
So I kind of think Andy Carroll was worth his 10 million just for that, to be fair.
Right. Yeah, probably. Right.
That's all he did. Yeah. That's all he did.
Yeah,
like little did I know that he wasn't like a superstar. Like that was like my only like frame of reference for Andy Carroll. So like every time I saw him on the pitch, I'm like, holy shit, it's Andy Carroll. He's gonna do something wild. But I learned.
I was so excited when like leading up to, I guess that was the summer that we signed him on loan. He was still with Liverpool, and I saw Liverpool and Tottenham play in Baltimore that summer, and Andy Carroll didn't even get a minute in that friendly, but he was on the bench, and I was the only person there wearing a West Ham jersey, and it was great, man. We I actually stayed in the same hotel as the Spurs. I didn't even realize it. But yeah, it was great just walking around with my West Ham gear, in Baltimore, where I'm not from, and it was a bizarre experience. But I was yelling at Andy. I'm like, "Come on, man!" Sign. It was at the time where all the rumors were we're going to loan him. I'm like, "Come on, sign for West Ham. Come on, man, West Ham. You're not getting any fucking minutes. Come on, let's go." And little did I know, he was just gonna, ride out the injury bench. And
he could have been such an amazing player.
Could have. Again, Allardyce used him better than anybody else did.
Yeah.
It's all about the manager. It's all about the tactics. It's all about how you use the guy. Bilic put him on the bench a lot. He scored. It was one of these questions that I asked the West Ham is why we drink people when they were on the Friday Night Lights on Friday. I gave them, we had a little after show, and I asked them, some trivia questions, and one of them was, how many sub goals did Andy Carroll score in the 15-16 season? 2, 4, or 6? And it was 4. And I think he only had like 6 goals that season. So it was pretty brutal, like he was misused by Bilic quite a bit. And I think a lot of the injuries that he had, I don't know if they were real injuries or not. I always believe that, especially with someone like him, I think he's full of shit. I think he just didn't want to play. He just wanted to party, man. Maybe he had some sort of, I don't know, mental issues that we didn't know about either. Injuries are mostly mental to me, especially when you don't physically see them get injured. If you see someone just get tapped and fall, and they say, "Oh my God, I broke my, neck bone or whatever, or my ankle is torn apart, my ACL," but they fucking bump their knee on the ground. You know what I mean? That's usually what it is. Or like, the best one is, I have a calf injury. You can't fucking see that. How do we know it was a calf injury? Like Nasri last year, he just didn't want to fucking play. So,
and when
was just going to say the other thing with Carol, his missus was on a reality TV show over here, so she has been known to be a bit of a party girl as well. So
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't think it helps to be kind of hyped up as this, this Jordy Harry Kane, this next like big number 9 that's gonna, bowl over all the big center backs and just be the man that, gets across in and just rises above everybody and taps it in every single time. And all of a sudden you're just kind of used as a super sub, as a utility player. You're hyped up, and then you're just like, hey, we need a 6'3" guy out there, like give it your best shot. That's got to hurt your confidence.
100%.
And I think how you said that Bilic misused him also translates over to Chicharito. I think that's been spoken about quite a bit on this show. How, I mean, the man's a poacher. I mean, fox in the box all day long. But, I believe it was Moyes that would just freaking put him out on the wing. Like, what is that?
Well, he hated him. They went back to Man U. Like, they didn't like each other that much.
Right. So
I don't know. It could be anything. That's the problem. I wish we could see what goes on in the training pitch, dude. That's my biggest wish. I
want to know where these injuries are coming from.
Well, that too.
Fresh green. I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, tactics is my biggest issue. I love to see. I would love to see how they actually set up in training. Like how what do they work on? Like, do they work on anything? Do they just run around and just jump over hurdles? Like, what the fuck do they do?
Right.
They actually prepare for the next match, because I heard, conflicting reports from, players under Allardyce would say, "Oh man, trainings were. I mean, I wish our training was the game, because we trained like fucking beasts. It was so meticulous and so in depth. Like, you'd think Allardyce was a genius, and then we get out in the matches and we're like, we feel somewhat confident because we felt like we were set up, but then, the tactics themselves were kind of archaic. But Bilic was just the opposite, man. I mean, Bilic was more of a, he would change his formations like constantly. I mean, he'd change everything around, change his players, shift everything around. The only difference between Bilic and Pellegrini is that Pellegrini doesn't change the formation. He changes the players. He'll put players out of position, just like Bilic did, but he won't change the fucking formation. Why?
Yeah. That's something that, like, like how a lot of these managers, how they, they prep their players for, for game day, for match day.
Yeah.
But like you said, like with Allardyce, that negative style football where you're sitting back and you're beating up on everybody, 10 men behind the ball, and then you rush forward on the counter. Like, you gotta be Antonio fit for that. Like, you gotta be able to, get on the fly and go and beat some center backs down the field, in a quick manner after you get the ball back from them. But and we know, like Mourinho talks about all the time, all this training is like very situational. It's not a whole lot of like conditioning stuff like that, but it's very situational type training. But like Pellegrini, what does he do? I don't know. I don't know where the tactics are. We can't. I think that, like last week, it was very well, talked about what's the game plan here. What are the tactics? What's the message? Is it pass it around the 18-yard box for 5 minutes and just hope that you can slip one through to Allaire? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I swear there's a invisible fence around the box. For people like Anderson, and like a dog, they'll they get that little shock every time they get close to the fucking box, because they do move around inside the midfield, and then they'll go off to the wings, but they won't penetrate the box, man. What's up with that? But my biggest thing though with Pellegrini is his coaching. Between Pellegrini and his coaching staff, like, we don't hear anything about what they do ever. I mean, at least with Allardyce, we knew what Neil McDonald was doing. We knew what Ian Hendon was doing. We knew what, when Teddy Sheringham came in to work as a strikers coach. I mean, he was somewhat transparent about what was going on. And same thing with Bilic. Like, we knew what his guys did for more so than Pellegrini anyway. When David Moyes came in, I mean, at least we knew what the fuck was going on the pitch. There was a lot of videos from the training pitch. There was, with Stuart Pearce and Alan Irvine and those guys. But with this crew, I don't even know half the names. First and foremost, all the guys that he has working under him, Pellegrini. But what the hell did they do, man? It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if as well, the training ground has actually finished doing work on, because I remember seeing like last year some of the photos where they had like bits of cloth just holding up against the windows. Did you guys see
That's
that?
ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, Mississippi Hammers, Alex says, ask the Leeds manager if you want to know what goes on. Ask Bielsa, Mr. Spy Man. Yeah,
Oh,
the
dear.
Bill Belichick of English football. Yeah, there you go.
So has the conversation been brought up at all? I don't know if I want to start it. I know that in the Discord we've talked about it. Is it too soon to talk about Pellegrini in, Pellegrini out? Is that too soon? What are we
No.
thinking?
No way. Come on.
Everyone's talking
Let's
about
talk it.
Okay,
Go ahead. What do you think?
I want to trust Pellegrini. I've liked. I'm sympathetic. I've liked what I've seen on their day, the past year or two, the past year, but they're just so flat right now. Like the air's just been taken out of them. Is it Fabianski gone? Was he the backbone? Because like I don't know if I would play hard if a ball going to be rolling past my feet at 2 miles per hour is going to roll past Roberto and go in the goal. Like I don't know if I would try. I mean, shit, if I'm getting 100,000 more a week just to know that like no matter what I do, I'm playing a high line. If they get behind me, I don't have a keeper behind me. I may not put in the effort. Is that on Pellegrini?
Ray,
I
why don't you tap into this one? I'll let you
don't
go
know.
first.
right. So for me, I was on the show the other day with Tim, and I was supporting Pellegrini. I was like, you've got to stick by him. He's done so well. And then we had the next game that we lost 4-0 against Burnley, and I was like, oh, I just can't. I'm trying to be positive, and I just couldn't do it. The things with me is that he's got issues with his tactics. He doesn't change them. He plays people out of the wrong formation. We don't really know. Set pieces, there's nothing there. It's just like, just get the ball in the box or have a shot. There's no like creative going around. And this is why I do like Gareth Southgate as the England manager, because he's gone to like see other teams in like the Super Bowl and see what kind of tactics they do. And apparently we've got some really good set pieces ready for our next championship match. And I want to see West Ham doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be speaking that into existence. I don't think you're going to hear the word championship out of me today. But no, you're right.
We've got 2 games left, and then the Spurs game is going to be a massive. If we lose against Spurs, which I know we're coming on Pochettino later, if we lose against Spurs, everyone's going to be so Pellegrini out. You are going to hear it across the board, and that's probably why we've been linked with Rafa today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been. We have. So I think, like you said, Ray, I think that if we end up losing to the Spurs, which I don't think we will, even with Pochettino, I thought we would at least beat him 1-0 with an Antonio goal off the bench, just because it's a different game. I mean, you're playing Spurs, just throw form out the window. But anyway, if we lose the Spurs, then that's when the owners will come out and say, we need to win Chelsea. If you don't win Chelsea, you're done. And that's when they'll start to really come out in the media saying, oh, I'm hearing leaks. Leaks are coming in. Yep, you're going to ask them if they don't fucking win against Chelsea. But if we beat Spurs, it's back to end of the season again. We'll give them to the end of the season. I guarantee it. So I don't know. It's pretty much last season was very, very like my anxiety, man. I'm telling you, my blood pressure has never been like so high in my life.
Right.
You start the season off. I'm sorry, preseason. We signed Pellegrini. We're like, yes, a fucking a league-winning manager. He's got experience. He's fantastic. It's going to be great. An attacking-minded coach. Holy shit! Yes, here we go. And then we make some good signings. I thought Felipe Anderson was a great signing. I thought Yarmolenko, great signing. Before going into the season, I thought all these signings were great. Plus the guys we already had. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be fantastic. And then we start off 0-4. I'm like, holy fuck, dude, this is just the opposite. And then we start to win a few games. We're like, yes, things are clicking now. Yes, this is the way it's gonna be. And then no, win, loss, win, won. Nah. And then the January debacle with fucking Arnautovic. And then after that, it was like win, loss. And then we finished the season strong, winning, win. And holy shit, yes, now we got momentum again. They finally got it, maybe. And then we go in the off season, we spend shitloads of money, and we get rid of their the dead weight, and we get Allaire and Fornals and this sexy looking beast with tattoos on his neck named Roberto, and we're like, yes. And now we got Dave Martin to meet the homegrown quota, and we're like, yes. And then we get smashed, and everybody looked like shit. Everybody looked like shit in the preseason friendlies, and everybody looked like shit against City. Everybody looked like they needed another 3 weeks of preseason. Like nobody was fit. And then the next week, holy shit, they're fit again. Where did this come from? They fucking win. They would beat Watford. They beat Norwich. And now we're like, yes, okay, it's great. Oh, forget Man City. Never happened. Everybody would get smashed against City, even though it's not true because people beat City, not us. And then boom. And then Oxford. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I can't take it. So now it's flat, though. Now it's like, okay, well, we had our wins against the shitty teams early in the season. And yes, Manchester United's C squad is a shitty team. That doesn't count. We wasn't beating a big team. And then, we lose, draw. I'm like, what the fuck, man? We should have smashed these teams. And like, you're right. Flat. I've never seen flat like this flat. I would love to watch Sam Allardyce coach this club right now. I mean, I would be so excited to watch that because compared to, Pellegrini, man, and this flat bullshit, I really do think the players have given up. I think the players don't give a shit anymore. I think the players are deathly, not the players, but the midfield and the defense is super, super scared of Roberto, letting the ball get past them. They've lost all confidence. It's not that Fabianski is an amazing goalkeeper. He's an above average goalkeeper. He's great on his day, but for the most part, he's just bang average. He gets the job done successfully on consistently. So I give him that. But with him gone, it's not the fact that we're missing that style of goalkeeper. It's the fact that we've lost all confidence because he's not there. There's not even a bang average goalkeeper back there. We don't even have an average goalkeeper. Like it's ridiculous. So signing somebody like Allaire is the other issue. Signing someone like Allaire with all that pressure and all that money and not playing to his strengths, not giving people behind him who will actually give a shit and do something with the damn ball when he holds the ball up, turns around, oh shit, nobody's there. What the hell do I do now? I got 5 fucking defenders on me. What the heck's going on? No, that's frustrating to Allaire. Now he's pissed off. If you look at his face the last 3-4 matches, he's getting frustrated. Like, I don't fucking want to play for you anymore. Would you? You know what I'm saying? No, so anyway, it's across the board. But anyway, take it away.
Right. But I mean, what I was getting to on the high line is that, like, and you could look back at it. It's always the offside trap, which is kind of what I was. I don't know. I was always kind of wary of it. It works when you're playing good teams and you're able to execute it well. But you see a lot of the time, the fullbacks Masuaku will play like a bunch of, he just won't get the message. He'll play like a good striker onside, and all of a sudden, Fabianski's in a one-on-one with like Rashford or something like that. Like, I mean, that's just a name, but like you can kind of bet on Fabianski in that because he seems to always like press and want to close down. He can get big in front of the one-on-one situation. Yeah. Whereas Roberto, I don't know what he does. Like, I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't see any technique or form or style there or much athleticism. Yeah, he gets a paw on the ball every once in a while, and it has made some very good saves. But do I trust him in a one-on-one when the offside trap fails with Timu Pukki? Absolutely the fuck not. Yeah. And I don't think that they do either. And the high line was never really put down pat, gotten down pat, and it's I think that's kind of what is the nail in the coffin right now, in my opinion. It's just, I think we're just putting Roberto in too many vulnerable situations. And given he lets a lot of balls in where he's not vulnerable, where it should be an easy, like, I'm gonna put my hands in front of my face and grab the ball. but
Yeah.
it doesn't happen.
He's
So
done a good job at making the easy saves look like fucking amazing saves because he was just
Right.
in the wrong position to begin with. Fabianski did that a shitload last year. He made he was out of position so much. Like this year, Fabianski, he's grown. You're right. He's grown in confidence as well, Fabianski. Like it was watching him in the beginning of the season. It was like watching a different goalkeeper, man, for me personally, because I was super critical of him last year. Because number one, I don't like signing anybody from a relegated club. It makes no sense in my mind. We did get a deal on him. I mean, it only cost what, £7.5 million or something like that. But leading the league in saves doesn't do me any good. I don't give a shit about that. That just tells me that especially when you're in the top 5 goals against. I mean, the goals against means more to me than fucking saves. Like,
Right.
You limit your goals against, dude. Like that. Anyway, that's last season. This season, he looked so much better, and he looked like he was confident. And his confidence, therefore, and his leadership back there, it was it was helping our defense. Diop without him is a little boy, a little kid, and he makes stupid, silly mistakes like a little child would. A lot more now. And Ogbonna, man, I don't know what the fuck he's not doing in there. Like, it should be like Ogbonna and maybe another adult, like maybe Balbuena. And I don't know why they don't pair those two together. I don't give a shit about whose feet are what, left foot, right foot. I don't give a fuck. Like, they should be together. Those are the more talented players. But recently, Balbuena has looked like shit too. So fuck it all. I don't know. Bring up Cardoso. Give somebody some youth, some push. I was listening to a podcast this morning. I think it was Jesus Christ, I can't remember the fucking podcast.
Just while you find that, did you hear the rumors about why Balbuena was put in the team?
Yeah, he felt bad.
No. It was because he could speak Spanish, so he actually could talk to the goalkeeper.
Was that Hammerchat that said that?
Yeah, I think that was Hammerchat that said that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard that. No, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I mean, you're fucking professionals, dude. I mean, don't fucking play there if you can't understand each other. Like, what the fuck? Like, you guys are around each other so much in training, supposedly, right? We're not. Again, this is why we don't see what's going on in trainings. I was listening to the We Are West Ham podcast. Our buddy Will Pugh was not on the podcast this weekend, but or last week, but they were saying that it's God, what's the best way to put this? The players don't have any competition across the board, meaning our whole starting 11. There's really no competition. We don't have a healthy squad. And Sanchez is not competition for Declan Rice. So Declan Rice has his position. I mean, that is what it is. He could play like shit like he has the last few games and still not have that taken away from him. Same thing with Anderson. We should be putting up Holland behind Anderson, or we should be giving Holland a start maybe. This, to bench, get these youth in there, give them a shot, especially against the shittier clubs like Newcastle and Burnley, like we've played, or Palace or Bournemouth or all these other teams we tied or lost to show that, hey, Anderson, you need your you need to get your shit together or you're going to lose your spot. But there's none of that fear. I mean, do you think Allaire is afraid of losing his job to Ayeti?
He's shown nothing. Yeah.
It's across the board, though. I mean,
right.
Yarmolenko, I mean, he could be coasting too, with Antonio being injured, but now he's back. Shit, now he has competition. He's probably the only one that has competition in the squad.
And you're right. Zabaleta's not challenging at all.
No.
I mean, love the guy. He's not.
I love him too, man.
Yeah, really.
It's great to have around the club.
Exactly. And then, I don't know what his wages are.
But, not high. I think like 70.
Okay, well,
it's not that bad for an old geezer.
You can flip a coin between Cresswell and Masuaku as to who's going to be the man. I guess that's competition, but Cresswell just recently had a big impact at the beginning of the year, and as long as I've been watching, has only shown burst like that. I haven't seen anything too crazy. Masuaku's, everyone says he's great going forward, but in the back he's just a little off. Like, just doesn't have that awareness. That
Yeah.
awareness stat in Madden is like at 67. So,
Alex,
what other spots? I mean, Nathan Holland should be challenging. You know, of all the youth players, he's got the pace, he's got the ability to cut, and he is deliberate with the ball. And
extremely, yeah.
Where is he? Where is he?
You know, a lot of old timers and a lot of West Ham supporters or even critics are all saying that it has to do with the fact that he's playing in the Premier League too. He's not. We're under 23s. He's not. That's piss poor competition. I'm like, that's bullshit, because I mean, he's going through the motion. He's showing that he can dominate at that level. I mean, same thing with Scully, dude. Fucking 8 goals and 9 appearances or something like that. And Holland's got like 8 goals, 4 assists. Like, that guy can, cross a mean ball. He knows, where to put the ball to, get the assist as well. They should be in there. But Mississippi Hammers, if you're still in the chat room, Alex, if the new design for our shop, we're gonna get T-shirts. Where's Ben Johnson?
Where is Ben Johnson?
Where's Ben Johnson?
You can play both left and right back.
He's not hurt, right? Not as far as I know. I mean, that's a guy that should be at least another youth player that I'm not the biggest fan of, but at the same time, doesn't matter. I'm saying it would be great for competition, right?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he?
And that's very true. I really do feel that Ben Johnson should be the one challenging Fredericks. Of course, in the cup games or like the one-off, sub at Man City in the 80th minute when we're getting pounded. Yeah, put Zabaleta on, but at this point, he should probably be considered more of like a player coach position, like a Wayne Rooney or I can't figure out another person like this in football, but like a Jason Kidd almost.
Yeah.
Where he's like further on his career, he knows what he's doing. He can hop on the pitch, but like his job is the locker room and keeping things in order, as a player coach. And I think that he should probably assume that role here soon, or should have been already in that role while Ben Johnson pushes up on the right back position. I mean, he showed that he can handle himself. Was he playing left back at Man City last year?
Yeah.
When he had his pro debut?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't like all that in a bag of chips, but he did it right, Yeah,
it's same thing with
it's a big audition.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name?
Everyone's injured at the moment.
Back after and
Sergio.
Really? But again, hamstring injury, dude. Bullshit. I call it bullshit. I call, you don't want to be known as being fit and not being in the squad. I mean, how good are you if you're fit and you're not in the fucking squad? I guess I don't know. Diangana last year really did not impress me whatsoever. He had great speed. I was glad that he went out on loan. That's another person that a lot of fans want recalled, and I don't see any reason in it. But the point is, it would have been nice if maybe we didn't put him on loan and just kept the youth players to make them push off the bench. Why don't we cut Taz Wilshere? Just get rid of him, fucking buy him out, get him out, see you later, and make room. No, same with Sanchez. Just fucking sell him for £500,000 to some, League 2 club, like Morecambe or something, and say, let's free up that money and then get some youth in there, man. It's not like he's going to start him anyway. He's not going to start the youth. Matt Pellegrini doesn't like youth players. It's like, George Bush didn't like black people, as they say, but it's bullshit. I'm just kidding. I voted for Bush. I'm just saying. I'm saying like that. Like,
no, I understand.
Pellegrini doesn't like young people. I don't tell good jokes. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I don't make me laugh.
Yeah, so but that's the point. So he doesn't like young people, and I really think that we should have kept them. And whoever manages this club next really needs to emphasize on youth development. I know that Pellegrini did an overhaul of our youth academy coaches and coaching staff. He did bring Kevin Keenan, which wasn't there before. But other than that, he brought in some of his own guys, and I mean, they seem to be doing well, like record-wise. But what does that do? Like, what is? Okay, we're better in the standings this year than we were last year. But what does that do to the club? What does that do to the club, really? standings. What do standings in those lower youth leagues? What the fuck does that do for our players?
I mean, I don't know how much it matters when you're just going to sell them off to Oxford United anyway. Like,
seriously, man.
You know,
fucking
where's
Middlesbrough,
the
Marcus Brown. Yeah, like selling Marcus Brown to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I have absolutely no clue as to like what's going on there. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Your friend Ray's bugging the shit.
I
keep getting distracted in the chat room here.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm not moving. I like do this with my hands.
No. It's this guy in the chat room. Baz. There was another guy in there too. Who's talking about Wolves beating us or something like that. So basically, I don't think you can see it, Andrew, but there's a live chat going on.
Yeah, I can't see it from my angle.
Yeah, and one of Ray's friends is in here, giving everybody grief.
He's a Southampton supporter, so that says it all, really.
Yeah, they make a lot of money selling players.
Yeah, how much did that Netflix documentary make them?
Yeah,
that was Sunderland. I'm sorry.
That was Sunderland. No, but still, yeah, it was Sunderland Till I Die. But that's a good one. I love that.
Yeah, never mind.
If you guys never seen the 4-year plan, watch that one too. That's a real good one. I don't know where to find it. It used to be on Netflix. It's about QPR. When I owned a semi-pro team, I made sure everybody on my board watched that video. It's very, very in depth. Like I'm talking, like they show, the owners, or not the owners. Yeah, the board meetings where like they're discussing different entrees to be sold in catering. You know what I mean? Like how much money they need to do a lot for this. It was so in depth on how to run a club, and it was pretty interesting. But the Sunderland Till I Die was a good one too. But no, I was watching some video, some TIFO video. Was it TIFO, or maybe it was another video, HITC or something like that. Or it was about all the players that Southampton sold, and what basically if you took the best players that they sold recently, and how kick-ass a fucking team like Van Dijk and Mane and all these players, how cool it would be. Well, we could say the same thing. Not recently, though. Not with recent
No,
players,
absolutely not.
Though.
Like, I think I would take more pride in being a farm team that puts people out like, a Rio Ferdinand or, Lampard or something like that. But no, I mean, where's progression? I think I agree with you that, we shouldn't be bringing back Diangana because there has to be a process. There has to be a process where you move up the ladder. Like, you can't just have somebody until they're like 18, 19, 20 and they're doing well. They're obviously not going to make it to the first team.
Yeah.
But you just sell them off to a League Two team and just completely forget about them. Like, no, you got to start doing some loans, doing some player development. And I know that they've tried that with a lot of them. And it hasn't worked out. Like, I totally understand that. But I think Diangana would, if he were able to make it back to the first team next year and thrive and put a ball in the back of the damn net, which seems to be a problem with our squad right now. If he's able to do that, then maybe that's kind of a model we need to start following as to what we did with Diangana. Because, like you said earlier, he's quick, he's shifty, he's dude's technical as hell. But a typical Premier League left back is gonna bully him off the ball every single time, because he's so he's a stick, he's thin. He needs to go to somewhere like the Championship to beef up and be able to play some physical ball. But I think that if it becomes a success story, like that should be probably a model that we start following, because this whole like, other than maybe Declan Rice and Diangana, like youth players not really being competitive anymore. It's not okay. It's not a good look.
No. I'm going to pull up some financials right now. We'll discuss this briefly before we head into some hammer polls. Ray sent me some financial information via email, and we'll get to everyone's thoughts on it. Ray, you're going to have to preface this with like where you got it and all that other good stuff, but I'll at least pull it up for you.
Yeah, so this is from Kieran, the financial guy. I don't know if you remember, he was on the Hammers Chat 24-hour stream.
Gotcha.
So he's actually based in Liverpool. There we go. But yeah, it's just interesting reading some of the financials.
Can we read? I don't know.
I'm on a cell phone. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
Son of a
So that's
bitch.
West Ham. They've got 106 millions. What is that in, Tim?
That's a good question. Let's zoom out. I can read. Premier League wages in million pounds. So it says West Ham 106.6 million pounds in wages. Is that a month? Year?
That's got to be a year. That's got to be a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at. I've also got another table here from Clarence and Hugh. Let me add this. Can I? And it says that last season we spent 93.7 million. So
last year. Okay, so
2018.
Yeah, so this is 2019, I think.
Yeah, this is 2019, I believe,
Yeah.
so far. So it's quite an interesting statistic to see like where we are in the actual table of wages compared to like the top four. Everton and Leicester. Crystal Palace has got higher wages there. Southampton.
That's weird. It's got Stoke in here though. That's bizarre. In Huddersfield. When the hell was Stoke's been out for a couple of years? But their wages are still high. I can tell you that much. That's a fact.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players that went down with them didn't have the if we get relegated release clause.
Yeah.
Or a drop in wages. Look at us with the Premier League commercial income.
Yeah, I mean,
we're in the top.
Yeah, but at the same time, you see the dramatic change though. It says 33.3 million, and then Everton about 42.8, and then it jumps Spurs fucking 109.
Is that because of Song in Spurs being Chinese, being Japan Chinese?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, Arsenal's up there too, and at 124, and Liverpool and Chelsea. But Man U 275.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
But Bournemouth, that makes sense. Only 10.3, and Huddersfield, yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense there. Yeah, we're pretty much the same spot on all of these, though. We don't move around that much. We're right there in the middle of the pack, virtually, give or take a few spots.
Yeah.
Even in broadcast income, which a few years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, even we were getting a lot of airtime on overseas, even getting match time. But since especially in America, especially since we went to NBC Sports Gold, West Ham hasn't been getting aired that much. It's usually on the extra pay package, not just on NBC. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Can I just have a coffee with 2 sugars? That's it. Cheers. Thanks. Get one of my girls to bring me a coffee.
Yeah, man. But match day income.
They even brought me chocolate.
That's crazy, man. And that says 24.5, right? Match day income.
Yeah.
We have had the best attendance, or one of the best attendances. You know what I'm saying? On average, over the last, since we've been in Olympic Stadium, really, it's just.
But our prices are really low.
Are they low? Because I hear a lot of fans and supporters bitching about how high it is.
Yeah, apparently compared to the bigger teams, match day tickets are quite low, especially the away games as well.
It's funny, Newcastle's right there.
So, what about match day tickets though? You mentioned attendance, but really, how many butts are in the seats? That's what I really want to know, because from what I understand, I've seen a lot of on West Ham Fan TV and all that kind of stuff, them complaining about how there's lots of seats that are not filled, but they're still reporting like 56,000 people in the stadium.
That's the season tickets.
Like Arsenal.
That's the what?
That's the season tickets. So because on our first season at the Olympic Stadium, they actually sold loads of them at low price. So we had got a load of touristy people buy them, and they've still got them. And they were saying that they don't think they will lose their season ticket until something happened, like us getting relegated, and then you'll see them all go, no, we don't want our season ticket back.
Gotcha.
Because it's a day out for people as well, isn't it?
you know, one of the craziest things, I don't understand the system over there in England when it comes down to tickets. Especially the whole point system for away matches. Like, you can't just flat out go to StubHub and buy an away match ticket. You got to like go through somebody who has one, but you have to have X amount of points per away match. But you can't get points unless you go to an away match. So how the fuck do you? I'm like, what? All set. I'm like, you got to know somebody, I guess, to get the damn tickets for away matches. Because I don't think you get credited for points for home matches, you know, because it's just home matches. They go by, okay, well, what night of the week was the match? It was a Wednesday night in Bournemouth on a rainy evening. So you get 3 extra points. I'm like, what? But if you go up
they also get points for League Cup and an FA Cup and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's like an incentive, I guess. I mean, it's going to be on like a Wednesday or Thursday night. So, I mean, I guess they need to incentivize it somehow to go and watch us get our cheeks clapped by Wimbledon. But I mean, a sore subject.
I know. I'd like to just go online and is the ticket available? I'll buy it.
Right.
Okay, great. First come, first serve. Why not?
But I mean, I guess it's just literally a different game that I'm not used to. Yeah. I mean, I've been to a few pro games like here in the States, but aside from that, it's like NPSL stuff. And like, I've actually never paid for a ticket for those kind of games because
you seen the Jesters?
Like, what's up?
You been to a Jesters match?
Yeah. I've been going to the Jesters matches since I was a kid. I was going back when they were the Shell Shockers.
Oh shit.
But like, I'm telling you, I never paid for tickets because like my rec league when I was like 6 or 7, like got all free tickets, season tickets for free, and I'd always show up and go to the ticket booth, and somebody was like, "No, honey, here you go, it's free."
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
that's cool.
Jesters. Andrew Tarbell played there. He's with San Jose Earthquakes, I want to say.
Right on. Yeah. Well, the NPSL has a great track record with getting players at least into the MLS. Right. Not so much overseas. Because it's difficult. We had my team in the NPSL had 2 players offered contracts, or not contracts, offered trials. One in Blackpool, one in fucking Fleetwood Town or something like that. But there were smaller clubs, and because the players didn't have European passports, EU passports, they weren't able to accept a contract. Now, if it was Man United who wanted one of those players, they'd just hire the parents as a consultant or something, and then get them, their passport via that way. That's how it usually works. But yeah. So anyway, it fucking sucks.
So what? If you don't want me asking, breaking the conversation away from the Hammers a little bit, what was your team?
Greater Lowell United, Lowell, Lowell, Greater Lowell United in. We spent 3 seasons in the NPSL. I was there I created the fucking thing. I was there the first season, and then we didn't make any money. We didn't lose any money, but I needed money to continue. So I brought in this nice old lady who said she was going to help finance the club because we took her son and gave him an opportunity. He was 15 years old, and we had him training with the adults, and he just developed so much better than at a $2,000 a month, local club soccer thing. So he developed better playing with adults and training with them. So she gave us money. And then the night before she was going to release the money to the league, she said, "Here's a paper. I need you to sign it or I'm not releasing the funds." And I'm like, this is my dream, by the way. This is the thing I created. The thing that I visualized, I created everything about it. I wasn't going to say no and have my dream just fucking die. So I said, you know what? Fine. So you get 60%. I get 30% of what's mine. And then my partner, who is my businessman, because I didn't have any business experience, I just have like creating experiences, managing experience. He got 6%, and she took like 64% or something like that. So as soon as that happened, we met with her lawyer and everything else, signed the contract and all this other bullshit. And next thing you know, my club wasn't my club anymore. Everything that I had, like the family vibe, the whole kind of like American Hammers TV. Like I let everybody involved. I said, "Ray, come on, man, you can do shows with me." I give everybody an opportunity and bring everybody in and say, "Listen, it's a family, man. We're a fucking family. Let's do this. Let's grow this together and have so much fun." It sucked. Everybody was it was conniving, backstabbing bullshit. I'm like, you know what? fuck you, I'm out. My thing, I'm done. So they continued it for 2 more years until they decided to change the fucking name. Thank you. I ended up creating 2 more clubs that ended up, one of them having an open U.S. Open Cup run. We were in the qualifiers and ended up winning our first game, which was awesome. And then I invited a whole bunch of investors down to go, from the city and everything else, come to this Worcester FC to go see the second game. This team from New York came in and fucking destroyed us. Well, of course, the match, I had all the investors there. Everybody was sitting there watching, and we got fucking smashed 4-0. That was great. So that died right there. And yeah, but I tried, man. I tried.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you.
We had over like 500 people our first home game, man, for the Greater Lowell United. That was fantastic. Just because it was awesome. And anyway, so let's get into some Hammers polls. Let's do some Hammers polls quickly before we head into the rapid fire questions, which is my favorite part of the evening. Let's see if I can pull this shit up rather quickly. Yeah. All right. So let's start with Andrew. So who starts against Spurs if they're fit? Both fit. Yarmolenko or Antonio?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna upset some people. Yarmolenko all day, because he's super technical. Even though he really only shoots with his left foot, I love it when he cuts in and whips that damn thing outside the bar, back in, and not even De Gea can do anything about that type of stuff, obviously. And the reason why is because I lick my chops at the thought of Antonio coming in during the 60th minute. The fullbacks are dead tired, and you got this absolute freight train coming at them. So that's my, if I'm Pellegrini, and I thank God I'm not, that's my game plan there.
Yeah, for me, I totally agree. And the other beautiful part of Antonio is you don't have to take Yarmolenko off. You can take Anderson off. They can play either side. So he's got this ball running down either wing. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right. And he prefers the right. So does Yarmolenko. And I don't know why Yarmolenko prefers the right. I know he likes to cut in and do his little fancy schmancy move. But yes, you're right, Andrew and Ray. Yarmolenko is significantly more technical. You can't compare anybody who's technical to Antonio, because Antonio is not technical whatsoever. He is a bull. Which is also one of the reasons why he's one of my most frustrating players, because he gets himself in the right positions and then he fucking smashes the ball who knows where. He misses the easy ones, but he makes he makes easy ones look difficult too. He'll make an amazing shot and make an amazing goal from time to time, but it's his energy, his atmosphere. I mean, it's something about him that being on the pitch, it elevates the players around him. He hustles when others don't. I give him that much. So that's what we need off the bench. And like you guys said, I agree. I mean, I think having Antonio come off the bench would be very, very bad news for Spurs, because they're going to be tired. They're going to be exhausted. It's going to be a dogfight, hopefully. And having a fresh Antonio coming off the bench, that's where I think he scores his goal. So, yeah, let's see what everybody else thinks. Yarmolenko. See, there's a lot of homers, man. A lot of people
glasses.
They just love Antonio. I mean, just because he's a nice guy and he's funny doesn't mean he's the right decision. I mean, come the fuck on.
He's not even going to be 100. Even though they're asking if he's match fit, but he's not going to be match fit, is he? So
not 100%. I wouldn't give him 90 minutes. No. Not his first match back. No. Jesus, but that's 615 votes. That's a big one right there. That was also on the 17th. Oh, hey, look who it is. Hey. All right. So who starts at left back against Spurs? Let's start with Ray this time. Cresswell.
For me, Cresswell. Just because he knows the game and the big occasion against Spurs. He has got a free kick in his arsenal when we need to. But he needs to get forward and get some crosses into it there for me.
Yeah. Andrew.
Forgive me if y'all know who's going down the right side for the Spurs, for Spurs.
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Who? You know?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't. That's
I thought you like.
Decision
I thought it was a loaded question, man.
No, it's not. I would Shit, I'll go
Who
Cresswell.
usually does? Who went
I'll go
last match?
Cresswell. Just for the composure.
Yeah. Man, who the fuck
Was it Song or was he on the other side? Because he normally switches.
I'm looking. Against Sheffield, they lost 1-1, and who was the lineup? It was. Of course, it doesn't fucking show me.
Have they got
They got
Zabaleta as well
Son,
on the pole?
Sissoko, Lo Celso, and Ndembele,
Ndombele.
Ndombele. Yeah, there you go.
Are they running
And
a
Ali.
4-2-3-1?
That's what. Again, it doesn't show me the fucking formation. It just tells me who their midfielders were. But yeah, there's only one striker, so yeah. With Ali and Son and Sissoko and Lo Celso and Ndombele. Yeah. So I don't know who to be in that.
I have no clue. I really don't follow them, and that's also a reason why I started going. West Ham's a place I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Is because I can't fucking stand the Spurs. I can't stand Tottenham.
I can't.
And they're a bunch of hoes on Twitter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't handle
in
them
person,
on Twitter.
They're worse.
A bunch of titty babies. And
So,
come at me, Yid Nation. Come at me, Yid Army.
Basically, Twitter's Twitter for the most part. I mean, that's where all those bastards. I mean, all the most negative fucking trolls, they hang out in Twitter, right? That's where they usually all hide. And Spurs on Twitter are fucking horrible people. But the funniest thing is that, unlike everybody else, like they're like that in person. Like that's just who they are. Twitter trolls in person. That's what they are. The negative piece of shit. But anyway, what do you say though? You say Cresswell or Masuaku?
I'm saying Cresswell.
Cresswell. Okay. I'll say Cresswell too. Fuck it. Why not? To me, I don't think it'll make much of a difference in this match. But
No.
Wow, fucking Masuaku, man. They must know something we don't. That's out of 345 votes. Wow. So we got two more questions. One of them, actually, I'll skip this one because it's pretty much redundant compared to this one. I like this one from Barry Scott. Get that out of my way. So now Spurs have sacked their manager. What will happen on Saturday? Spurs play like demons. Spurs play like mugs. West Ham United hammers them. Or West Ham United overconfident and lose. What do you think will happen? Let's start with Andrew this time.
Another reason why I started following West Ham is because I never know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
Saturday morning for me on match day. Quick side note: I went to Louisiana Tech, and that's how it is there. Like, you don't know if you're going to lose to UAB, who's about to lose their football program, or if you're going to give Arkansas hell. Like, I have no clue as to what's going to happen. But just for the shits and giggles, I'm going to go Spurs play like bugs.
All right. Ray?
I'm concerned, especially with Roberto in goal, if he keeps his position, which is everyone's saying, because I can see Harry Kane just getting a hat-trick and just shooting at will, which is worrying.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of worried that they're going to play like demons. Again, it's a big game for them as well. And I feel like Harry Kane is just going to be he could just hit the ball in the bottom corner, and Roberto's just never going to save it.
I think it depends on who they announce as their manager, and if they do it before the match. Is it going to motivate them, or is it not going to motivate them? Are they going to try to say? They're linked with Mourinho. Say they announce they're going to have Mourinho, and then Mourinho shows up there. He's in the stands, blah, 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 blah. And they would play like demons to fucking try to show their place. They try to earn their spot, right, for Mourinho, show what they got. But if they don't announce that, I say that they play like mugs because, I think what they're going to do is they're going to be playing more loose because they don't have Pochettino. They're going to be playing loose, which is the reason why I think we're going to win 2-1. I think we'll win. I don't think we're going to hammer them by any means, and I don't necessarily think we're going to be overconfident at all. So that doesn't even apply. So yeah, I don't know. I think they play like mugs. So what do we got? 2 mugs and a demon. Let's just say mugs for shits and giggles. Yeah, and no, they play like demons. That's what most people say. Actually, not most people, because only 84 people voted on this. All right, so never mind. that's that. Let's get into the finale here. We got rapid fire questions for you.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon they're going to announce Mourinho before the game and get the team fired up?
Andrew, what do you think?
I missed what y'all said. Well, I'm trying to read this. Could you repeat that for me?
Yeah, sure. Do you think they're going to announce Jose Mourinho as Tottenham's new manager before the game to get them fired up, or a couple of days beforehand?
No.
Because apparently on Sky Sports News tonight, it come up that they're very close to signing the contract.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad news.
I don't like these guys. I don't like Tottenham at all. That absolutely just.
The smart thing would do.
It kind of pisses me off. I just can't stand it. Like
the smart thing
that's actual news.
It would be smarter for Spurs to link themselves with someone like Thomas Tuchel or someone actually talented. You know what I mean? Like someone, I don't know, a really, really, really good manager.
I mean, I agree.
What's this? Did he sign? Did he sign?
No, it's just that it's close.
Oh, that's close.
I mean, if I were Spurs, if I was like the director of football or something, I'd try to get some sort of, internal caretaker manager and then figure it out over the winter break.
Yeah, like, bring Glenn Hoddle back. There you go. He's looking for work.
Like, why the hell are you gonna go from Pochettino all the way to Mourinho right before a London derby? Like, why the hell are you gonna do that? I don't know. Maybe to fire people up. Maybe to fire their team up.
Yeah, because you know what? I'd say more than half of the West Ham fans said that they did not want Mourinho. His name had come up quite a bit. West Ham Fan TV mentioned it. I mean, Hammers Chat talked about it. All these different podcasts have talked about it. And the majority say, I don't want him. Like, why? We don't want another fucking Allardyce, parks the bus, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I would love Sam Allardyce today. As much as we were done with him at the time, I would take him back in an instant because he would keep us up. And he actually would have talented players for once that he didn't pick, which is great because he doesn't know how to pick players. But the players are here. With this team that he has in his hands or would have in his hands, I think would do fucking awesome because his defensive prowess and his analytical, sensibility, and his training purpose, everything. I mean, we'd be so feared. Back when he was our manager, teams hated playing at Upton Park, not because of the fans, because of our defense. They fucking hated how physical we were. We were extremely physical defense under Sam Allardyce, and like teams feared us, for that, not fear they're going to lose, but just feared playing us. They didn't like fucking playing our defenders. Anyway, that's another story for another time. So,
just a quick question: would you take Rafa?
No. Because that's a step sideways, kind of like Allardyce would be. It's a step sideways. You're talking about another dinosaur who won years ago, who hasn't done anything recently, who we're taking from China. Doesn't that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, very, very.
You know what I mean? I would have taken him before Bilic. I would have taken him.
People would say that him and Pellegrini are at the same level, but there's also people arguing that Rafa is above. But no, it's the same course of action.
Yeah.
You go from like being decent, like not really in the Premier League, to going to put out passion.
And he shows no emotion. He shows no emotion. This is my emotion. I'm so upset right now.
We need some damn emotion. Like we need some fire in a coach, but like a coach, and a manager.
Yeah.
I got it. So
the thing is, Sullivan has been trying to get Rafa for ages.
I know. We'll end up with him,
right?
But that's like signing Moyes, to me. I mean, it's someone who, listen, I would take Benitez over Pellegrini, probably. I mean, he'll probably do a better job. But at the same time, I'm not excited about it at all. Like I would have been 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
It's not ambitious.
It's not ambitious. I thought we've been making some ambitious signings. We got some players here that if they were played in the right way, the right system, they'll be fantastic. But I would look, everybody's talking, like all the fans who don't want the dinosaurs are all talking about, oh, Eddie Howe, this, that, everything else. Like I've never been a big fan of Eddie Howe or anything having to do with Bournemouth at all. They're a fucking tiny little club. They should get the fuck back to League Two where they belong, with a little tiny stadium in their little tiny town. They don't deserve being in the Premier League with the 12,000 seat stadium. I'm sorry, 10,000, whatever the fuck it is, dude. Because listen. Like when Blackpool was in the league, I'm like, what the fuck is Blackpool doing in here? They got like 17,000 seats. I'm like, that's how are you going to survive financially selling out 17,000 seats unless you charge fucking $1,700 ticket? You know, it doesn't make any. How you going to compete? How? I don't know how the fuck they do it, but you know what? Eddie Howe is doing a good job there with that. He's also doing a great job with the development and the actual, he's a smart manager. I give him that much. So I would be more excited for an Eddie Howe than I would a Rafa.
I can't pronounce that, but that's who I would pick, the Ajax manager.
Or Ten Hag. I would pick Nagelsmann. But Nagelsmann is, I guess, going to be like the next fucking Bayern manager or PSG manager. Nagelsmann, what was he with Hoffenheim, and now he's with Red Bull Leipzig.
Yeah, that
guy plays the same style that we need to play with fucking our players. That would get the best out of everybody. Anyway, so rapid fire, real quickly, all right? Because we're like overtime here, and I don't want to take too much more of your time because I know you're sitting in a parking lot somewhere. Meat
Little Caesars is here. It's cool. It's cool. But they grab some food after.
Meat pie or apple pie?
What?
Meat pie or apple pie?
Meat pie.
All right.
It's a thing down here.
Right on. Cool. Hey, listen, man, I went to the Market Basket, which is our local grocery store, kind of like a Winn-Dixie or something, and or a Tesco's, whatever. And I grabbed. They had in the food section, they had a frozen meat pie, and I'm like, meat pie? No shit. I fucking took it home, ate the fucking thing. 2 hours later, I threw it up. It was the nastiest thing I ever fucking had in my life. Not because it was nasty, but like it wasn't right. It wasn't English. It wasn't whatever. But I love a chicken pot pie anyway. Who's your favorite current West Ham player?
Ooh. Hey, look, if I was at home and I was sitting in my bed with my computer, Hammers flag behind me, I'd have a away jersey on me from last year, and there'd be a big Snodgrass on the back of it. I love the work rate.
Hell yeah.
I love the damn work rate. I love when everyone's pissing and moaning on the field, he just barrels through people. I love it.
I love that too. Who frustrates you the most?
Oh man,
in the current squad, yeah.
Gosh, let me bust out the freaking Rolodex. Give me a second. I'm sorry. You mind if I take a second?
No.
I guess Masuaku.
That's a common answer.
I absolutely love the guy, and I love his technical ability, but it's just like he brain farts on the pitch, like just the tiniest things that lead to the worst outcomes.
Yeah, and man, I could watch his replay. I mean, against Tottenham, where he fucking dribbles through people, over people, and he's phenomenal. Technical ability, phenomenal. I don't think he's a winger like everybody says, though. I don't see how he can't shoot. He can't.
He's very niche.
Yeah, he's like a wide left mid or something. He's not really a winger or like attacking mid. He can't shoot. He can get the ball away from people and he can get the ball into people. But anyway, FA Cup or top 4 finish?
What would you like? You got to.
Yeah, right on.
You got to.
That's almost unanimous. We've had a few people fucking say differently. Bizarre. What about West Ham do you love? Your guy in the chat room, man, Ray. He says Ray frustrates me the most sexually too.
I know.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, go ahead. So, what do you love about West Ham?
So,
usually people would say something having almost everybody in one way, shape, or form says something to do with the family, the club, the supporters. There's something the being a part of West Ham. That's I don't know, the feeling.
That's fluff, I mean, but honestly, like I cannot wait. And I mentioned it like 2 weeks ago or something, but I cannot wait to go into London Stadium and hear bubbles for the first time. Like 60,000 people, like bubbles on the top of their lungs. It's going to be bone chilling. I can feel it now.
It is.
So,
yeah, it definitely is.
The atmosphere.
So what about West Ham do you hate?
Inconsistency.
Yeah,
honestly,
that seems to be
we have too much talent on that damn pitch to beat Man U one week and turn around and lose to fucking zoo the next.
Yeah. What's your favorite curse word?
I mean, of course, I throw like fuck around a lot, but
Yeah, that's.
yeah. We can go with that one. That's just gonna be safe, so we can keep going the rapid fire.
What team do you love to beat?
Do I love the beat?
Yeah.
Dude,
For me, it's
Spurs.
Southampton now.
Are you kidding me?
Southampton.
Because I have so many Spurs friends, and it gives me an entire day to just shit.
How can you call them that? They're not your real friends.
Brothers, so I bought those friends. So
I was gonna say,
I have to
man,
claim them.
they don't have friends. They're fucking. Listen, people who follow Spurs are all about themselves, man. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anything other than how they're fucking which side their hair is fucking, pushed to, and how their boat shoes are matching their fucking underwear sticking out of their fucking denim shorts.
I was playing volleyball with a Spurs friend, so
sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. No big deal. No big deal. Not upset at all.
Name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham to you.
Epitomizes West Ham to me.
Yeah, who is West Ham to you? Like who just what you think West Ham is? Who is West Ham? Past or present, doesn't have to be.
Gosh. So, I mean, the obvious answer is for most people Mark Noble, but my first time seeing the West Ham badge was Paolo Di Canio. That scissor kick thing he did, the fire and the absolute just passion he brought to the game is what I, being on this side of the pond, envision with West Ham.
Yeah.
So I'd say him, despite him being a little bit tumultuous at times.
But hey, aren't we all?
Yeah.
So my favorite question is our final question. It's if you could take a time machine and go back to experience anything to do with West Ham, when and where would you go?
When was the last derby with Millwall?
That's a good question, man.
Yeah. I'd love to go.
At least
some hell. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I'll change roles for that day.
Hell yeah, man. No one said that. That's funny. I like that. I like when people come up with new shit. That's cool. Because usually it's, FA Cup final of 80, or it's lately it would be getting a lot of the 66 World Cup because West Ham won it. And then we get the last game of the Bowl-in. That's for probably newer fans. And then, it all depends because we ask all walks of life. Anyway, Andrew, I hope you had a great time. We had a great time with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a trooper and sitting in your car while doing the interview. I appreciate it. Finally getting you on. You're more than welcome to come back and join us on any of our other shows like Friday Night Lights or any of the other things if you have time sometime. We had a pleasure with you. Ray, if you
Friday Night Lights is a great show, isn't it? I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah, you were on it, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's right. Holy shit, I was on that show. Dude, I'm too many shows. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody in the chat room, except James Reese and Baz. You guys can never come back again. I appreciate it. You bastards. Oh, you guys. But anyway, Thomas, nice to see you popping late. But no, listen, thanks for popping in. And I love seeing the chat room so lively. I did see some people over on Facebook as well. Neil from Down Under and Wally was in here. And what else I could see quickly? Katie Curlin was in there tonight. A whole bunch. But anyway, thank you guys. We were streaming this simultaneously on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. I wish to God we could do Instagram too. That would be the next step, but they suck like that. Head on over to AHTV.threadless.com and help us out and buy something. There's some really cool stuff. We've created some really cool designs for you, man. So, Dear Spurs, have a nice day with Uncle Sam giving the finger. There's a 1920s sugar skull with a logo on it, and then we got tons of cool stuff. Supporters groups. If you buy a shirt with a supporters group logo on it from either, doesn't matter where in the world they are. We have like Moscow Hammers. We got Hammers Sing from wherever the hell they are, and We got what's the other ones? We got Bayou Ironworks, Philadelphia Hammers, etc., etc. They get a cut, so it helps them out, helps them buy their, fill up their beer tab, And what else? We got scarves for sale on AmericanHammersTV.us. It's these are much nicer and darker than the you can't see, but the other ones up there. Those are slightly reddish. I was kind of pissed off about that, and Roughneck stepped up and gave us some new ones. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my commercial for tonight. If you guys want to leave us a message, a voicemail, we'd love to play it on Mondays. Mondays are Monday mailbag, and our phone number here is 1512. We are AHTV, or it's 512-937-2488. There is a way for you to call us if you're not from the United States. I don't know how, but there's got to be a way. So Google it. And if you're from the United States, give us a call. Leave us a message. Leave us a rant. We'll play it up on our show on Monday. I will see you tomorrow night, me, Wayne, and Lee for the OG debate. Other than that, come on, you irons. I'll talk to you guys off the air. But come on, you irons.
Can't do it, but come on.
All right, later, man.